Even though we really haven't gotten any scenes set in the 1950s for the second episode in a row, something I'm really disappointed with after the way it ended last time, I really have started to enjoy the present-day storyline a lot more. While last episode focused extensively on Kentaro and May, here Cate really gets the bulk of the focus. The episode picks up with all of them detained by Monarch in Alaska, and for the most part, there wasn't much to this opening scene. We see how Cate and Kentaro are handling it all differently. They've got that last name that connects them to Monarch, but even though Tim suggests teaching them about their legacy, nothing seems to come of it, which is a bit disappointing. I know there would be pushback by the siblings to join the organization, but it's amazing the lack of respect that the majority of Monarch seems to have for Cate and Kentaro, and even their father, given that their relatives founded the whole thing. I'm wondering if we're going to see or learn about something that happened, maybe by the grandparents or by the father, that separated them from Monarch. It's definitely not giving family business vibes. It's very secretive, which would explain why their father never told them about his work, but there's a disconnect that I'm hoping gets explained. May also looks better now, and she's offered a way out by Duval. She brings up the various passports, and for some reason May has Lyra's passport. I don't know if we're assuming that this person is a friend, sister, or love interest, but I think they need to speed that mystery along soon, because it's brought up so sparsely that I have little to no interest in it. It was teased at last episode that this person may have some importance to May, and then we got the passport here, but other than that we aren't getting much, and compared to the larger mysteries in the series, it pales in comparison. We see May accept their offer to be an informant, and from the moment Duval put her card down, I think it was fairly obvious that was going to happen. But I don't really know if there was any way to be more conspicuous about it. She just wants to go home, and she'll do anything to get her life back. Later on, we get a few brief scenes with Shaw being detained, and despite a lack of substance, I really like this character and want to see more of him. It feels like there's something going on that he knows about that very few people do, and it may just be seeing that emergence from the helicopter. There was also something that caused a fallout between Shaw and Monarch, and hopefully we'll get to see that play out in the past. It's possible that they may learn that he was keeping secrets from them in order to protect the monsters and the scientists. We're more than halfway through this series, or at least Season 1, and I think if we get to the end of next episode and we still haven't gone back in time again, I'm going to be upset. In his little cell block, Verdugo plays an old reel from the 1950s, and I did like how Shaw mirrored his younger self, with a smile and turning around in placement, and then later on we see Verdugo trying to get some information or motive from him for taking these kids out to Alaska on a manhunt. Although it's minimal, we do get some more history about Monarch, and it was fun to watch Shaw have the power in the scene. They're not getting anywhere with him, despite the threats and accusations. Shaw is steadfast and he knows what he's doing. He had the moment where he said that Monarch is and has been wrong, and the reaction from Duval made her character much more interesting to me. She's got a good amount to do in this episode, and even though it may turn out to be nothing, I think there's more to her character and her arc. It seems as though Shaw may have been planting some seeds of doubt in her. The episode ended with Shaw being moved, and although we know nothing about where he's going, hopefully it's his turn next week to have a larger role in the episode. Shifting the focus to the other three, they're eventually released by Monarch and head to San Francisco to look for clues in their father's office there. Like I said earlier, Cate really got the bulk of the screen time to develop as a character. I had made a note while watching about how quickly she moved on from her PTSD of G-Day. She had the one breakdown in Tokyo, but since then she's seemed fine, which looking back didn't make much sense to me at all. But coming back home to the site where it all happened really takes a toll on her here. I thought the acting was incredible, and all did so much more to develop her and make her feel real. Seeing her go through the pain, but come out the other side built up her few moments from last episode where she refused to lose anyone. There's a strength to her character that we didn't get to see at the beginning of the series, but now we are. We also get to meet her mother in this episode, and flesh their relationship out a bit. Spending so much time in Tokyo and Alaska made me forget that there was a whole other side to this affair, with Cate and her mother, so we see Cate have to break the news about Kentaro and the second family. And she really does not try to break it to her softly. She just says it almost immediately, which does make the episode move along better than trying to draw it out to make it hurt less. There's the one moment between Cate and her mother where they're inside that really does a lot for both characters to show how they're dealing with G-Day, no father or husband, all of this chaos that followed the attack. Cate was in such a rough place afterward that she did absolutely nothing, so her mother sending her to Tokyo was her hoping she would open up back to the world. There are times when I forget that Cate was actually a schoolteacher and lost kids in the attack. I feel like the series could have done a better job of reminding us things like this, things revealed in the first episode that still have an emotional impact on the characters, but after everything with Monarch, they kind of float to the back of the head, one of the downsides of weekly releases. In order to get to their father's office, Cate's mother heads to break them into the disaster area, and I loved the establishing shot as soon as the back of the van opens up. Seeing the Golden Gate Bridge torn in half is such an eerie sight. As they travel through the disaster area, avoiding the military, Cate really falls back into the PTSD from the attack, and we get to see that through the brief flashbacks. We learn more about what the character's life was like before everything happened, similar to how we met Kentaro and May last episode from beforehand. We meet Cate's girlfriend, her students, and we get to see the public concern leading up to the attack that we didn't get from the film. Here we see how the everyday person was responding, some of the rumors that were flying around, like it was being used to impact real estate prices. Everything with the flashbacks and seeing Cate's journey the day of the attack, from cheating on her girlfriend, to the classroom, to leaving with the students, it does so much more to humanize her character and emphasize her trauma from the incident. It's a reminder of what she's gone through, the human impact caused by Monarch's inability to prevent the attack. While they're going through the disaster area, we get a small moment of sibling time, where Cate and Kentaro bond over their father and how he would make them laugh. It is nice to see how far the two of them have come together. There's also another great scene between Cate and May, where their roles are reversed from last episode. Now it's May talking Cate through her troubles, her panic attack. After making their way to their father's office, they're able to put the pieces together using the map to find out that their father was following the Titan's path, going from San Francisco to Alaska to Africa, relating back to some of Billy's findings from when we first met him. I assume we'll be in Africa next episode, and Monarch will show up at some point. By fleshing out the siblings these past 2 episodes, the series has done a good job of making the search for their father much more personal, where I feel like I'm invested in it now too. What did you think of this Monarch episode? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for coverage of the Monsterverse, and remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.